At least 100 people will be able to see more clearly from today. The elderly had their cataracts removed for free yesterday, marking World Sight Day. Now, the initiative is driven by the Vision Centre for Sight in Vanderbijl Park, and our reporter Yanka Tome is there. Yanka, thank you for joining us. Let's talk about how the patients are feeling.
Well, Tamelo, it's been quite an exciting morning since 8 a.m. Patients have been coming back, walking into the Vision Centre for Sight with their eye patches on and then removing them. Still slightly sensitive, but definitely you can see the joy on these faces, just the difference that the surgery has made. You have to remember that this is extremely expensive surgery, so most South Africans who might be dealing with this do not always have access to these services. So it was something that many did not think would be able to happen. So definitely a happy day. Some people even crying, telling me about how this feels and how much this means to them. I do have one patient here with me, Marila Beskachny, who agreed to speak to me here. You have to keep in mind it's a bit hectic here. We are in the middle of this whole process. But I'm going to speak to Ms. Labeskachny. Just tell me, hoe voel Tannie nou dat na hierdie operasie?
Ek voel wonderlik. Ek kan so mooi sien al. Nog nie heeltemal nie, maar ek kan nou al meer beelde sien.
Okay.
Ek is baie gelukkig oor hierdie operasie.
Wat dink Tannie sien Tannie die meeste uit om te sien as Tannie na huis toe gaan?
As ek huis toe gaan ek nou al my ou tydskrifte uitkrap en deurlees. En dan gaan ek na my tuin toe loop en dan gaan ek dan al my blomme kyk met hulle mooi kleure, want ek sien net, ek het net die kleure gesien, man. Dit was nie soos wat ek my blomme wou gesien het en boeke lees.
Ja. En laastens het Tannie ooit gedink dat Tannie hierdie operasie sal kan kry? Ek weet dit is baie duur.
Nee, dit was per geluk. En ek is so bly ons het dit gekry. Ek kan nie wag om volgende jaar terug te kom en die ander oog te doen.
Okay. Baie dankie.
Baie dankie.
Dankie, Tannie. There you have it, Ms. Labeskachny saying that she's extremely happy that she is able to see clearer today. She can't wait to go back home and look through all her old magazines that she's kept because she couldn't read through them. And then, of course, going into her garden, seeing her flowers clearly, something that she hasn't been able to do for years. And then next year, she hopes to come back to maybe remove the other cataract, because 100 were done. If people had to, only one was removed to ensure that at least there is an improvement in the sight, but to still make sure that they can help as many people as possible on World Sight Day yesterday.
Now, Yanka, 100 patients were, of course, assisted by Vision Centre, but still many more South Africans struggling with cataracts. You mentioned how expensive it is. Approximately what figures are we looking at?
Well, some of the conversations I had when I asked the patients, they said up to 32,000 rand per eye. Obviously, you have to do it separately. The two eyes will have to be treated during different surgeries. So that can cost a lot of money for someone who, even if they do have medical aid, is not always covered. One person told me yesterday that even though he does have medical aid, his wife had been in and out of hospital. So the option for him to improve his sight was never on the table. So definitely something remarkable taking place. As I said, a lot of people were pretty emotional, saying that they can't believe that this is something that people did for them for free. It's obviously all the personnel here at this centre, up to 4 doctors who did a 24-hour marathon. Actually, it was more than that, because I understand that the last patient only came out at about 2 o'clock this morning. So you can imagine a lot of tired people here today, but if you see what this meant to these patients, it was definitely worthwhile. But also the centre saying that it's only a drop in the ocean. There's still thousands, if not millions, of people who might not be able to see, and this can be treated. But unfortunately, because of those costs, these people are still being kept in the dark.
And this is a beautiful start, Yanka, especially as we observe World Sight Day. Thank you so much.